These Tesla charging stations in the town of Littleton were intentionally set on fire. You can see them really.
Fire at a Salem Tesla dealership. It happened at about 3:45 this morning at the dealership on Mission Street Southeast in Salem.
Justin, haters gonna hate on Elon Musk, and they are showing their flaming emotions to Musk's brand. Tesla's Superchargers are deliberately set on fire in some areas in the United States. Is this a strike against the company itself, or a hostility statement in opposition to Musk and his strong political stance? Tesla might be at high risk and compromise before Elon knows it. A blazing protest. A woman in a black hoodie strolled into the Tesla dealership, clearly ready to cause some chaos. She brought along 4 Smirnoff ice bottles filled with gasoline, which she hurled at the electric cars parked nearby, watching them go up in flames. Over a span of 13 days, starting January 29th of this year, Lucy Grace Nelson made several visits to the Tesla lot in Loveland, Colorado. At one point, she spray-painted Nazi in black beneath the dealership sign, and on another occasion, she set off a Molotov cocktail near a Tesla Cybertruck. She also reportedly used red spray paint to leave a message on the dealership's entrance doors that read, "F Musk." Nelson's attorney chose not to comment on the situation. Since President Donald Trump's inauguration, there have been over a dozen violent or destructive incidents targeting Tesla facilities, as detailed in court documents, surveillance images, police reports, and local news stories reviewed by The Washington Post. These events coincide with Elon Musk's rise as a prominent supporter of Trump and a controversial figure in his own right. The backlash against the tech mogul online has increasingly turned into real-world vandalism at Tesla stores, charging stations, and vehicles. In March, several Tesla Superchargers at a shopping center in Littleton, Massachusetts, were set on fire. In Maryland, vandals spray-painted "No Musk" on a Tesla building, along with a symbol resembling a swastika. Wow, what is happening? In February, a man with an AR-style semi-automatic weapon shot at a Tesla store in Salem, Oregon. Just weeks before that, the same individual had attacked the dealership by throwing Molotov cocktails at Tesla cars and through the store window, causing around $500,000 in damages, according to court records. This destruction adds to the challenges faced by a car maker already in distress. Tesla's stock has dropped more than 35% since Trump's inauguration, and last year marked the company's first annual sales decline in over 10 years. In Germany, Tesla sales fell by 6% in February compared to the previous year, as reported on Wednesday. Some owners are now feeling regret over their purchases, viewing their cars as symbols of far-right politics, which is a significant shift from the environmental image the brand once represented. Ross Gerber, a longtime Tesla investor and critic of Musk, mentioned that the recent reports of damage to Tesla stores, vehicles, and superchargers could lead to a chilling effect. He pointed out that customers might hesitate to connect with the brand due to concerns about vandalism and Elon's image. Do you agree with Gerber's statement? Does Musk need replacing? Tesla has faced its share of public backlash. Last year, the factory near Berlin experienced a power outage after a far-left environmental group, the Volcano Group, took responsibility for torching an electricity pylon nearby. A few months later, around 800 environmental activists tried to break into the same factory. Some employees and investors are starting to voice their concerns about Musk, fearing that his ties with Trump could irreparably damage the company's reputation and its goal of promoting a more sustainable future. Musk's political stance since Trump took office has definitely stirred up some strong opinions about him. He's built connections with far-right politicians in Europe and even made a gesture that looked a lot like a Nazi salute. Protests have erupted outside Tesla showrooms all over the US in response to Musk's significant cuts to federal funding through the US DOGE service. Regardless of the motivation, setting fires and damaging property isn't the right way to express your views, commented Matthew Pinard, the police chief of Littleton, where a few Tesla Chargers were set ablaze recently. Musk and Tesla haven't responded to requests for comments after a photo surfaced on social media showing a supercharger vandalized with the word Nazi. A Tesla social media account stated that the company would pursue charges for vandalism at superchargers. The freedom of expression. A man and his wife were leaving a church in Brookline, Massachusetts, on Sunday morning when they discovered that their Tesla had been defaced with a sticker depicting Elon Musk in his widely recognized raised arm gesture. At 37 years old, this man noticed the suspected vandal across the parking lot and began recording the incident. In the video, he asked the man, "Why do you think you have the right to do that?" The vandal replied that it was his free speech before riding off on his bicycle. He promptly notified the Brookline Police Department, which later identified the suspect, though no arrest has been made. In response to the video, Musk commented on social media, emphasizing that vandalism, damaging someone else's property, is not protected as free speech. About 30 miles away in Littleton early the next morning, police reported that a Tesla supercharger station at an outdoor shopping center had been doused with an accelerant and set ablaze. This incident is under investigation as arson, with no suspect identified so far. Elsewhere in the country, acts of vandalism have sometimes escalated into terrorizing behavior. On Inauguration Day in the early morning hours, a Tesla driver charging his vehicle near a dealership in Salem, Oregon, witnessed a man dressed in black and armed with what appeared to be an AR-style rifle. According to a federal court complaint, the man ignited an object and threw it at a red Tesla SUV. The suspect, later identified by police as Adam Matthew Lansky, continued to hurl what looked like Molotov cocktails at other parked Tesla vehicles, prompting the driver to quickly unplug and drive away. The complaint states that Lansky dropped an ignited Molotov cocktail and aimed his gun at the person inside the Tesla, then threw a rock that shattered a showroom window, tossed an ignited device into the store, and attacked 2 more vehicles before leaving. Court documents include photos showing a Tesla severely charred by fire and a shattered store window. A total of 7 Tesla vehicles were damaged in the attack, with 1 completely destroyed. A few weeks later, Lansky allegedly returned to the same dealership and fired at the storefront and a parked vehicle inside the building. Bullets were later recovered from an area inside the store that would normally be occupied by customers and employees during business hours. Lansky was arrested on Tuesday and is currently in custody pending charges and arraignment, with his lawyer having declined to comment. For Tesla customers, thanks to the company's fast resolution, the stations were quickly repaired. A speedy move. In just 48 hours, Tesla's charging page posted posts, fuses and wire replaced, cabinets inspected, transformer re-energized, we're back online. After vandals ignited a fire at a Tesla supercharger station in Massachusetts, Tesla managed to fix the damage and had the location operational within 48 hours. The incident took place overnight, and Tesla learned about it early the next morning. The company promptly informed its customers on X, assuring them that the station would be back up in 2 days. An arson investigation has been launched in cooperation with local police, and a $5,000 reward is being offered for information leading to the arrest of the suspect. A quick evaluation by Tesla revealed that the damage was relatively minor, limited to some wiring and the supercharger posts, while the main cabinet remained unharmed. By March 5, 2025, Tesla updated its users on X, confirming that after thorough inspections of the transformers and cabinets, the station was fully re-energized and operational. Since this supercharger facility is accessible to vehicles from other manufacturers, the impact extended beyond just Tesla drivers. Tesla's charging teams have been responding swiftly to incidents of vandalism recently and are implementing new anti-theft measures to ensure continuous service. Future improvements may include an upgraded Sentry mode that emits a honk when it detects potential vandalism. It's important to note that Tesla supercharger stations are public resources. Vandalism here not only disrupts service for Tesla owners, but also for all electric vehicle users, especially in remote areas with limited charging options. Furthermore, many of these stations benefit from government grants aimed at expanding EV infrastructure. So such acts of vandalism ultimately harm local communities and undermine public efforts to enhance essential services. Still, the brand worries. Should it blame its flounder? Recent violent incidents have coincided with Musk courting national controversy. Once primarily focused on advancing sustainability with Tesla and pioneering space travel with SpaceX, the billionaire has shifted his attention to politics. This summer, he rapidly joined Trump's inner circle by directing at least $288 million to support Trump and other Republican candidates, making him the largest political donor in this cycle. Like mentioned earlier, Tesla investor Gerber noted that Musk's divisive political stance and the vandalism targeting Tesla are beginning to damage the brand. He remarked that these issues could be easily resolved if someone else were to take over Tesla's leadership. Despite the backlash, some observers believe Musk's significant financial backing of Trump will eventually pay off. Investors and analysts expect Tesla to benefit greatly from deregulated autonomous driving rules, a development Musk has identified as critical for the company's future. Dan Ives, global head of technology research at Wedbush Securities, acknowledged that while Musk's relationship with Trump has raised major brand worries for Tesla, the benefits will ultimately prevail. In an investor note, Ives stated that these current distractions will eventually diminish and that having Trump in the White House will foster a deregulatory environment with a federal roadmap for autonomous driving, a key element of Tesla's strategic vision. At the same time, local law enforcement officials worry that it is only a matter of time before someone is seriously injured in attacks on Teslas. Court documents reveal that an individual, also known as Justin Thomas Nelson, caused around $5,000 in damage at a dealership in Colorado. Paul Campbell, deputy superintendent of the Brookline Police Department, commented, "Whether you like Musk or you don't, this is not the right way to do it. We're all grown-ups who learn at a very young age to not touch things that don't belong to you." In Brookline, Tesla owner Choi, whose car was vandalized outside his church, shared that he voted for Trump and remains neutral regarding Musk's involvement with DOGE. Although he understands the political backlash stemming from Musk's aggressive changes to the federal workforce, Choi described the vandalism as shocking and disturbing. He loves his Tesla, calling it the best and most affordable quality electric vehicle in the United States. But the incident has made him hesitant to drive for fear of further attacks. "I think the motivation for the suspect was to send a message to Elon," Choi explained, adding that the implication was clear. He was being penalized for purchasing a green car. Is it hate on Tesla or Elon? Recall that famous "I think you should leave" sketch, where a hot dog-shaped car crashes into a building, and as the onlookers demand an explanation, a man in a hot dog costume, clearly responsible for the crash, shows up insisting on identifying the driver. "We're all trying to find the guy who did this," he declares. And that scenario mirrors Tesla CEO Elon Musk's current predicament. Over the past several months, Musk has been lashing out at the federal government, stirring up chaos, triggering a historic drop in Tesla sales, and sending the company's stock into a tailspin. In short, an influential billionaire is clearly to blame for Tesla's troubles, and that's Musk himself. Yet, instead of taking responsibility, the multifaceted businessman, never one to face his own shortcomings, chooses to blame a murky network of Democratic billionaires for his self-made problems. On the social media platform he acquired for $44 billion, Musk claimed that an investigation found that ActBlue, a fundraising tool for liberal and progressive campaigns, is behind the growing protests against his electric vehicle company. According to Musk, this investigation identified 5 groups: Troublemakers, Disruption Project, Rise and Resist, Indivisible Project, and the Democratic Socialists of America, as being funded by ActBlue and the primary instigators of the recent protests at Tesla dealerships. Yet, a quick look shows these grassroots organizations have openly shared details about their protests targeting Musk. at Tesla locations, after mistakenly alleging that a non-profit fundraising platform is bankrolling nationwide protests. Musk went further by calling out ActBlue's founders. In his rush to deflect blame, the South African-born mogul even pointed fingers at George Soros, a billionaire who has long been a conservative scapegoat despite having no documented ties to ActBlue, along with several other alleged ActBlue funders, such as LinkedIn co-founder and PayPal mafia member Reid Hoffman, progressive oil heiress Leah Hunt Hendricks, ProPublica financier Herbert Sandler, and Brennan Center supporter Patricia Baumann, with the last two notably deceased. If such a level of investigation were submitted in an undergraduate journalism class, the work would likely be dismissed. Musk, however, is no journalism student. His argument ultimately leans on a recent New York Times report that several senior ActBlue officials resigned from the non-profit, although he inaccurately claimed these resignations happened this week, when they actually occurred several weeks ago. It remains unclear where Musk sourced his investigation. Currently, both House Republicans and an external counsel hired by ActBlue's staff unions are probing the platform's practices, the Republicans alleging that some donations may have breached campaign finance regulations, and the counsel reportedly investigating potential wrongful internal retaliation. None of this context matters to the billionaire himself, whose own contributions are said to have violated campaign finance laws, especially since his actions are now the main reason behind the public's growing disdain for Tesla. So, is his political stance going to help or hurt Tesla? You might have heard it before. Musk has been described by some as President Donald Trump's top pal. However, the administration's rollback of policies that favor electric vehicles has led many Tesla investors, analysts, and EV experts to warn that these changes could severely hurt the company, the largest US EV maker by a wide margin. Some analysts remain optimistic, arguing that Musk's visible presence at the White House might actually benefit Tesla, particularly because its future is rooted in autonomous driving and robotics. Wedbush senior analyst Dan Ives explained, "Tesla's future lies in autonomy and robotics. We've never seen it simply as an automaker." He added that Trump's presidency dramatically reshapes the regulatory framework for self-driving vehicles, suggesting that a federal plan is on the horizon, a move that validates what he called Musk's bold bet on Trump. Not all experts share this view. Some remain skeptical. CEO of Gerber Kawasaki expressed his doubts, noting that his firm now holds around 280,000 Tesla shares, just over half of their peak holdings. He argued, "I don't see a clear path for Tesla because autonomous technology still doesn't work." Citing his personal experience with the Cybertruck, Gerber mentioned that he often has to override its autonomous functions after just a few minutes, while competitors like Waymo seem to be operating much more effectively. He concluded that the current hardware isn't sufficient, and as a result, consumers aren't purchasing the vehicles. According to Gerber, Tesla's struggles in selling cars are partly due to Musk's support for Trump and his active role in the White House. "Elon is probably the most disliked person in the world," he remarked, adding that global animosity toward Musk is ultimately hurting Tesla. This perspective is backed by data showing significant sales declines in several European markets. For example, a drop of up to 60% in Germany during the first 2 months of 2025 compared to the previous year. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is actively targeting policies that have benefited electric vehicle makers like Tesla. An executive order issued on January the 20th aims to eliminate what it considers unfair subsidies and other government distortions that currently favor EVs. Notably, every Tesla model has at least one variant eligible for the federal tax credit, more than any other car manufacturer. GLJ Research's Gordon Johnson pointed out that if the $7,500 credit is removed, every Tesla vehicle would effectively cost an extra $7,500, a steep price hike that could be particularly damaging, given that many Americans couldn't even handle an unexpected $600 expense. Tesla has also made billions by selling government-mandated credits to other automakers. Federal and state regulations require manufacturers to produce a certain percentage of low or zero-emission vehicles. Companies that fall short must purchase credits from those that exceed the quota. Since Tesla exclusively builds EVs, it has benefited from what Gerber refers to as free money by selling excess credits. In 2024, Tesla generated more than $2.7 billion from these sales. And although this revenue makes up only a small portion of its $97.7 billion total, Johnson noted that a large share of Tesla's free cash flow comes from these credits. He even mentioned that, absent these credits, Tesla's free cash flow over its lifetime would actually be negative. Additionally, Trump's January order called for a temporary halt to the distribution of funds for EV charging infrastructure. Tesla has already received around $31 million from the National Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Program, a Biden-era initiative aimed at expanding charging facilities across the U.S., which accounted for roughly 6% of the program's total funding. Proponents of Tesla argue that the removal of EV tax credits, regulatory credits, and even charging subsidies may not hurt the company significantly. In fact, they suggest that such measures could even benefit Tesla by disadvantaging smaller competitors who cannot achieve the same economies of scale. Stifel Managing Director Stephen Gengaro summed it up by stating, "Tesla is the only automaker turning a profit, so they can afford to offer incentives and reduce costs." The DOGE narrative. When the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, was announced, it was met with both curiosity and skepticism. On paper, the idea of streamlining government processes, cutting waste, and eliminating bureaucratic red tape sounds great. However, as DOGE has taken shape, it has faced a growing wave of criticism. From its lack of transparency to questionable hiring decisions and unclear leadership, many are questioning whether it's really about efficiency or just another chaotic experiment. One of the biggest concerns about DOGE is the confusion surrounding its leadership. While Elon Musk was initially presented as the face of the department, official documents later clarified that he isn't actually in charge, at least not in a formal sense. Instead, DOGE reports to White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, but even that structure seems murky. The uncertainty about who is actually running the show raises serious questions about accountability and decision-making. Another major issue has been DOGE's hiring process, which has brought in a mix of young, inexperienced tech workers, some with questionable backgrounds. Reports suggest that DOGE has hired engineers as young as 19, many of whom have no prior experience in government. Some of these hires have been accused of behaving unprofessionally, such as refusing to disclose their last names in meetings, keeping their cameras off during video calls, and aggressively questioning career government employees. In some cases, their past social media activity has raised red flags, with one employee resigning after his racist and eugenicist posts were uncovered. For an agency that claims to promote efficiency and accountability, DOGE has been surprisingly secretive. Its website was launched with promises of maximally transparent operations, but so far, it lacks basic details such as an organizational chart, contact information for key personnel, or a schedule of its activities. Even when DOGE released claims about saving $55 billion, independent analysts found that number to be wildly inflated, with real savings estimated to be closer to $2 billion. Beyond its lack of transparency, DOGE has also faced criticism over security concerns. Reports indicate that some of its team members had access to sensitive government data without proper security clearances. CNN even reported that a key privacy team responsible for protecting government data was suddenly dismissed, raising alarms about how information is being handled. Additionally, past behavior of some employees, such as working with hacker networks or operating shady online businesses, has led to concerns about whether these individuals should have any involvement in government operations at all. Is it another politicized agenda? Finally, critics argue that DOGE is less about efficiency and more about pushing a political agenda. Many of the agencies it has targeted for downsizing or elimination align with those flagged in Project 2025, a conservative blueprint for reshaping the government. Although Trump has publicly distanced himself from Project 2025, DOGE's actions closely mirror its recommendations. Some worry that rather than making government more efficient, DOGE is simply being used to dismantle programs and agencies that don't align with the administration's ideology. One of the primary arguments in favor of DOGE's permanence is its potential to improve government functionality. By identifying inefficiencies and implementing cost-cutting measures, the department aims to make federal agencies more effective and accountable. Supporters argue that a dedicated body focused on reducing waste and improving productivity is essential in an era of growing budgetary concerns. If DOGE demonstrates measurable success in reducing unnecessary expenditures and improving service delivery, it may gain strong political backing for continued operation. Conversely, critics argue that DOGE itself could become another layer of bureaucracy, contradicting its very purpose. If the department fails to deliver tangible results, it risks being viewed as an unnecessary expense rather than a solution. Moreover, changing political administrations may influence its longevity, as new leadership could choose to dismantle or restructure the agency based on shifting policy priorities. The department's future also depends on legislative and public support. If Congress continues to allocate funding and the public perceives DOGE as beneficial, it has a greater chance of becoming a permanent institution. However, if skepticism grows over its effectiveness or efficiency, it may face dissolution. If DOGE successfully enhances government operations and garners bipartisan support, it could become a lasting component of the federal system. However, without clear and sustained achievements, its existence may be short-lived. The idea of making government more efficient isn't a bad one, but DOGE's execution so far has left a lot to be desired. From its murky leadership structure to hiring controversies, transparency failures, and potential security risks, the department has struggled to prove that it's truly making the government better. In the end, whether you agree with Musk's relentless criticism or view it as an overblown reaction, the debate brings up a key point. Government should evolve with the times. Efficiency isn't just a catchphrase, it's a necessity for a system that's expected to serve the public effectively. And until the department in question can prove that it's truly up to the task, it will continue to be a lightning rod for both celebrity scorn and everyday public ire. So here we are, witnessing a classic case of irony in motion. A department meant to cut through red tape ends up being a symbol of bureaucratic inefficiency itself. It's a reminder that sometimes even well-intentioned ideas can fall short when they're bogged down by their own complexities, leaving both innovators like Elon Musk and everyday citizens shaking their heads in disbelief. Whether DOGE will be able to turn things around or end up as another failed experiment remains to be seen. But for now, it seems to be raising more concerns than confidence, and both Tesla and Elon are terribly affected. Tesla's future with Musk. Tesla's future seems to be on solid ground despite the whirlwind of fame and controversy that often surrounds Elon Musk. When you break it down, the company has built its reputation on a foundation of innovation, quality products, and a clear vision for sustainable transportation, and those are qualities that tend to endure even if the personality at the helm sometimes makes headlines. Elon Musk is undoubtedly one of the most fascinating and polarizing business leaders of our time. His bold ideas, candid tweets, and unpredictable behavior have made him a media magnet. While his public persona often stirs up debate and occasionally even legal or regulatory scrutiny, many industry watchers argue that Musk's larger-than-life presence actually keeps Tesla in the spotlight. This constant buzz can be a double-edged sword. It attracts attention and can galvanize a passionate fanbase, but it also occasionally invites scrutiny and volatility. However, history shows that companies with visionary leaders can often navigate through personal controversies if their core business is robust. One of the key reasons many believe Tesla will continue to thrive is that the company isn't solely defined by Musk. It's defined by its products and its mission. Tesla has consistently pushed the envelope in electric vehicle technology, battery innovation, and renewable energy solutions. The brand's identity is tied to forward-thinking technology and a commitment to sustainability, resonating with millions around the globe. This deep-rooted brand strength helps insulate Tesla from the ups and downs of any one individual's reputation. In essence, while Musk is a central figure, the real value lies in the innovative ecosystem Tesla has cultivated. Tesla's continued investment in research and development is a clear indicator of its commitment to staying ahead of the curve. With a strong lineup of electric vehicles that appeal to both luxury and mass-market consumers, alongside energy solutions like solar panels and battery storage, Tesla is diversifying its offerings well beyond just cars. As governments and consumers around the world increasingly shift towards cleaner energy, Tesla's early lead in the electric vehicle market gives it a competitive edge. This strategic position helps ensure that even if some controversy surrounds Musk, the underlying business remains attractive and forward-looking. Of course, there are always risks. Public controversies can sometimes lead to regulatory challenges or investor uncertainty. Yet, many companies have weathered similar storms by focusing on solid fundamentals and long-term strategy. For Tesla, that means continuing to deliver breakthrough products and maintaining a loyal customer base. Investors and consumers alike often distinguish between a company's core operational success and the personal quirks of its leaders. In Tesla's case, the company's impressive growth, expanding market share, and relentless innovation suggests that it's more than capable of handling the occasional headline-grabbing moment. While Elon Musk's fame and the controversies that come with it might cause periodic ripples in the media and even in the stock market, Tesla's future appears promising. Its innovative edge, robust product lineup, and clear mission to transform transportation and energy have built a resilient foundation. As long as Tesla continues to focus on its core strengths and adapts to the ever-changing market landscape, it's likely to thrive, controversies and all. So yes, despite the high-profile drama that sometimes follows Elon Musk, Tesla seems well-equipped to navigate the challenges and capitalize on the opportunities that lie ahead. That's it for now. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more updates.